National Federation of the Blind. Live the life you want.
Hey guys, I'm Georgie. I'm going to read you, I've done a few videos like this already, but if you haven't seen them, I'm going to read you this Braille book. If you have a copy of this Braille book, you should read along with me. And then at the end, I'm going to give you some questions that if you have a Braille writer or a Braille note taker, then you can answer them in Braille. But if you don't have access to that stuff, just answer them, verbally. Answer them with your words. Tell your parent or whoever's with you your answers to the questions. Okay. Madeline by Ludwig Bimmelmans. All right. Oh, here's the cover. Let's do it. Okay, I'm gonna start by reading you guys the dedication because I love book dedications. We dedicate this book to the generous donors who gave their support to have this children's classic available for both blind children and adults still young at heart. I love dedications. All right. There's just a bunch of extra info, copyrights. All right, so the very first thing in this book, actually, before we start reading, we have a tactile picture. So it's like a raised up picture I can feel with my hands, and it's a picture of Madeline, and she's a little girl, and you can feel her dress and her little buttons up the dress. She's got 3 little buttons, and you can feel her little smiley face and her hair and her hat, and she's holding a flower, and she's got an umbrella that is weirdly just kind of floating above her head. I'm not sure how that works. And she's also got a balloon, and there's also a mouse. So maybe there'll be a mouse in the story at some point. But here's our picture. All right. But it's really cool that they included it because you can feel all the little pieces. All right. In an old house in Paris that was covered with vines, picture description, a 2-story house with vines. Lived 12 little girls in 2 straight lines. Picture description, 12 girls in 2 rows with a nun. There we go. In 2 straight lines, they broke their bread. A picture description, 6 girls on each side of the table with the nun at its head. And brushed their teeth, none watching the 12 girls in the 2 rows brush their teeth. And went to bed. The nun closes the door to the dormitory where 12 girls sleep in 2 rows. They smiled at the good. The nun and girls watch a lady feed a horse. And frowned at the bad. Nun and girls watch a policeman chase a robber. And sometimes, did I skip part of it? Nope. And sometimes they were very sad. The nun and the girls see a soldier on crutches. They left the house at 9:30 in 2 straight lines. The nun and girls walked down a driveway. In rain, nun and girls with umbrellas outside Notre Dame. Or shine, nun and girls with balloons in the public gardens. The smallest one was Madeline. Madeline on a chair being measured by a tailor. She's gonna get some clothes or something. She was not afraid of mice. Madeline on her knees in the kitchen, feeding mice. She loved winter, snow, and ice. The nun and girls are ice skating. To the tiger in the zoo, Madeline just said, "Pooh, pooh." Madeline sticks her nose up at a tiger in a cage. The other girls are huddled around and clinging to the nun. And nobody knew so well how to frighten Miss Clavel. Madeline walking along the ledge of a bridge. In the middle of one night, Miss Clavel turned on her light and said, "Something is not right." Little Madeline sat in bed, cried and cried. Her eyes were red. 12 little girls in bed, only Madeline is crying. And soon after Dr. Cone came, he rushed out. Oh, Dr. Cone. And soon after Dr. Cone came, he rushed out to the phone. Doctor rushing from Madeline's bed. And he dialed Danton 106. "Nurse," he said, "it's an appendix." Doctor on phone to nurse. Everybody had to cry. Not a single eye was dry. Madeline was in his arm, in a blanket, safe and warm. The doctor carries Madeline out. In a car with a red light, they drove out into the night. An ambulance rushing past the Eiffel Tower. Madeline woke up 2 hours later in a room with flowers. A pot of roses are on the table. Madeline soon ate and drank. On her bed there was a crank. The nurse bringing a tray of food. The hospital bed has a crank. And a crack on the ceiling had the habit of sometimes looking like a rabbit. An image of a rabbit on the ceiling of the hospital room. Outside were birds, trees, and sky, and so 10 days passed quickly by. A view of birds, trees, and sun through the open window. One nice morning, Miss Clavel said, "Isn't this a fine?" A man feeding birds in the public gardens. Day to visit. Miss Clavel and girls on a bus. Madeline, lady at the flower stand, handing out flowers to the girls. Oh, they're gonna take her flowers. Yay. Visitors from 2 to 4, read a sign outside her door. Miss Clavel and girls study the visitor sign. Tiptoeing with solemn face with some flowers and a vase. The girls carry flowers and Miss Clavel carries the vase. In they walked and then said, "Ah," when they saw the toys and candy and the dollhouse from Papa. Madeline in hospital bed while girls play with her toys. But the biggest surprise by far, on her stomach was a scar. Madeline lifts her shirt to show a scar. "Goodbye," they said. "We'll come again." Girls and Miss Clavel waved goodbye to Madeline. And the little girls left in the rain. Girls and Miss Clavel wait for the bus in the rain. They went home and broke their bread, brushed their teeth. 11 girls sitting at the table looking sad, standing at sinks, also looking sad, and went to bed. 11 girls with unhappy faces lying awake in bed. In the middle of the night, Miss Clavel turned on the light and said, "Something is not right." And afraid of a disaster, Miss Clavel dresses and climbs the stairs. Miss Clavel ran fast and faster. Miss Clavel running into the dormitory. And she said, "Please, children, do tell me what is troubling you." And all the little girls cried, "Woohoo! We want to have our appendixes out too." 11 girls crying. "Good night, little girls. Thank the Lord you are well, and now go to sleep," said Miss Clavel. And she turned out the light and closed the door, and that's all there is. There isn't any more. A smiling Miss Clavel closes the dormitory door. Yeah, here's your last picture. All right, I'm going to read you guys. So there's a part at the end of this book where it talks about some of the things that are in the pictures. So here's a list for those who may wish to identify the pair of scenes Ludwig Bemelmans has pictured in this book. On the cover and in one of the illustrations is the Eiffel Tower. In the picture of the lady feeding the horse is the opera. Gendarme, I don't speak French, chases a jewel thief across the Place Vendôme. A wounded soldier at the Hotel des Invalides. A rainy day in front of Notre Dame. A sunny day looking across the gardens at the Luxembourg. And behind the little girls skating is the Church of the Sacré-Cœur. A man is feeding birds in the Tuileries Gardens facing the Louvre. So there you go. All right, so some questions. Let me pull out my list of questions here real quick. All right, so again, you can either answer these in Braille. If you have a Braille writer, that would be the best way to do it. But if you don't, that's totally okay. And you can just tell them to somebody and answer them that way. So, your first question. All right. How does the author show us that Madeline is brave? Give at least 2 examples from the story. Number 2, why are the other 11 girls crying at the end of the story? What is making them so sad? Number 3, we started the story with a dedication, which is a chance for the author to either thank or express how much she cares for someone in her life. Pretend you are writing a story. Who would you dedicate your story to and why? Number 4, we saw a picture that we could feel, which is called a tactile picture. Describe something that you would like to see a tactile picture made of. It could be anything from your school's playground to planets in outer space. And number 5, this is the last one. The pictures in the story show different places in Paris, the city where Madeline lives. If you wrote a story about your life, what people and places would you show in pictures? And that's it. So there you go. 5 questions. And I'm gonna do a few more books like this. So if you enjoyed this one, you'll definitely see other books coming up here really, really soon. So thanks, guys. See you later.
Connect with us. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at NFB_voice. And like us on Facebook by searching for National Federation of the Blind. Visit our website at nfb.org or call us at 410-659-9314.